I want to share something that's very, very near and dear to all of our heart, and that is what is called the Shaklee difference that you'll hear a lot about. And the Shaklee difference is really made of three parts. It's about our leadership, it's about our philosophy, and it's about our incredible, amazing products. So I want to share those parts of what the Shaklee difference is all about with you today. So let me start with the very first one, and that's leadership. Shaklee has done extraordinary things over the past 50 years. 7 of Time Life's greatest adventures of all time were powered by Shaklee products. Well, let me walk you through those 7 very, very briefly so you know what they are, because it's something we can be incredibly proud of. Now, in 1980, the very first thing that Shaklee helped support was an ascent up Mount Everest. The very first American ascent up Mount Everest without any oxygen was supported with Shaklee products. And it was an incredible, incredible adventure. And Shaklee felt this was such an important thing for us to really make a difference on the planet that we noticed as there's massive deforestation that was happening in the Himalayas while everyone is trying to go up Mount Everest. So Shaklee went back in 1989 and worked with Sir Edmund Hillary to help plant over 1 million trees in Nepal to put in hospitals and clinics and clean water system and septic systems to really leave a mark on the planet that, is as light a footprint as possible. So that's one of Time Life's greatest adventures that Shaklee supported. Then there are 3 more that all happened through Will Steger. Will Steger is an Arctic explorer, and his mission is to look at what's happening on the environment in the most extreme parts of the world and do measurements about what's happening to the planet. And he looked to Shaklee because he needed help to survive under very, very difficult conditions in some of the greatest explorations that had ever been conceived before. So he looked to us for nutrition support. At the same time, we were asking him the question, what are you doing? What are your experiments going to be? And it was really about, he wanted to look at the changes that were happening to the planet, and this is a good way to do these measurements. So we supported research in 1986, 1989, 1995, this type of research. And Will Steger's research was able, because he was looking at melting ice caps, and he was aware of the whole subject of global warming before anyone was really registering it, because he was seeing changes happening. So Shaklee's help and support for these expeditions with our products and support from the company helped create the measurements that now all the scientists are talking about relative to global warming. So this is a huge, huge discovery and important investment that this company has made in trying to leave a difference on the planet too. And then another support that we did with one of these great adventures was the Voyager project, which was the greatest nonstop flight around the world. And this was done nonstop, and they needed incredible support through nutrition and support through great hydration, and that was also done by Shaklee products. And then you had Jacques Cousteau, an incredible explorer, on the Calypso. Shaklee products were being used because he wanted to make sure he was using types of products, cleaning products, other types of products that would have no harm if they would end up in, being into the marine system. And then the Daedalus project, which is an amazing feat of human endurance. It's the longest human-powered flight that went across the Aegean Sea, and that was using Shaklee Performance. That was the creation of Shaklee Performance was for that particular work. Now, again, one of the other things that's really important to recognize is since 1993, Shaklee has been supplying NASA with a specially created rehydration beverage that we refer to as AstroAid. This is not a current product that Shaklee sells. It's very, very unique for the shuttle astronauts, but NASA asked our research and development group to provide some help and assistance. And the reason that they did that is shuttle astronauts during the time when they were re-entering and coming back down to Earth sometimes would have trouble, staying alert, or they would faint or pass out. So they needed extra hydration. So that's what the AstroAid supplied, and we've been supplying it since 1993, and we're very, very proud of that one. So then you look at the explorers who really turned to Shaklee for help. That's a big leadership position. We also have incredible elite athletes at the very top of their game that look to Shaklee to help support what they do. Shaklee athletes have won 81 medals at the most elite event in the world, and including 54 gold medals, and we're also very proud of that. We support hand cyclists, who actually is a Shaklee distributor. We're really thrilled about that, who's won all sorts of awards. Triathletes use our products. One of the top LPGA golfers in all of the world is using Shaklee products. Then you have Carly Piper, who is actually a Shaklee kid. She was born using Shaklee products. She also won a gold medal at Athens in 2004. We're really proud of her. And then we supported the U.S. Snowboarding and Ski Association to their 10-medal win in Torino. So Shaklee products, the best of the best, have turned to us to provide the leadership that we do through our products. But then we get into another subject of leadership, which is about leadership for the planet. Now, what Dr. Shaklee's philosophy is when he founded this company was that we needed to look to nature, and at the same time, we needed to be stewards of nature. We had to take care of the planet and tread lightly. And so from a leadership standpoint, this has been a major commitment for this company to make a huge difference on the impact of the planet. In 2000, Shaklee did something that was unheard of. No other company has done this. What we did is we became the first climate neutral certified company. We looked at all of the CO2 production that we created as a company, and the CO2 is what everybody is talking about now that's contributing to global warming. The company was creating 22,000 tons of CO2 from the shipping of products directly to all of our customers, manufacturing, all of our operations, and we invested in fossil fuel emission reduction programs to completely neutralize our footprint on the planet, so we had no net impact on global warming whatsoever. So some of the projects that we did in 2000 and 2001, we replaced kerosene lanterns in very poor villages in Sri Lanka that created a lot of pollutants and a lot of carbon dioxide. And we replaced that with solar arrays. And then we also went to the Portland school system and we replaced their boilers. And then in 2003, we worked with the Rosebud Sioux tribe to create the very first wind turbine to also reduce our fossil fuel emission. And then we converted some of the school buses in the LA school system to biodiesel, which is actually using recycled vegetable, like fat from frying French fries and things like that. So Shaklee has done things that are absolutely extraordinary. They're being recognized as amazing accomplishments. This building is an amazing accomplishment. It's recycled carpeting, soy-based paints, sustainable woods. This company has deep, deep values about what we do in leaving little marks on this planet. We also sponsor a lot of very, very special environmental research projects, like the Wild Dolphin Project that we supported since 1986, which has been researching a particular pod of dolphins, and just to find out what's happening to them over time and how their health is being impacted by the changes that are happening in the oceans today. The same for the Ocean Alliance Project, which has been studying pods of whales and other marine life, because pollution is really affecting our ecosystem. So they're looking at what's going on, and this is an important leadership project that we're looking at. So it gets to our philosophy. So I've talked about leadership. Really, the heart and soul of any company is the values that drive it. That's what you want to associate with, is some company that you can align your own personal values to. It's really, really important. Dr. Shaklee felt very, very strongly that the answers were all there for us, and it was really looking to nature to provide solutions for our health. And what Dr. Shaklee understood is that plants are extraordinary in their ability to create phytochemicals. These phytochemicals are abundant in things that can help promote and sustain health, the health of the plant, and also for all of us. And what plants are so amazing about is that a plant, like the leafy part of a plant that can be assaulted by the radiation from the sun, that can damage the leaf of the plant. Well, that plant, depending on where it's located or what the conditions, might create antioxidants to protect itself from the sun. The same time, in another part of the world, might be rainy season, and the roots of a plant are being assaulted by funguses that are trying to destroy the plant. Well, that plant may create antifungal ingredients. So plants have tremendous capacity to create these powerful, powerful phytochemicals. And human beings were designed to eat 600 different types of plant foods. Well, the average American eats 3 of them. ketchup, French fries, and iceberg lettuce. I mean, that's a terrible, terrible thing. But that's the reality of what's going on today. And that's impacting our health. Because nature has a solution, and Dr. Shaklee knew that. And he created this company to look to nature and create those solutions and come up with the answers. And at the same time, it was our job to take care of nature and protect it. So that's a philosophy that's really, really important in understanding what makes Shaklee tick and what makes Shaklee so very special. Now, in 2004, the Consumer Reports published an article called "The Dangerous Supplements" was the title of that magazine, and they listed 12 different ingredients that are used in dietary supplements called the Dirty Dozen. And we're one of the very few companies that never had sold any of those ingredients, because safety is a huge issue for us, and we really want to make sure that we're selling the very, very best products of their kind, but the products that are safe and effective. That's really critical for Shaklee and the products that we offer. Now, I also want to talk about a really important subject, which is the subject of purity. Unfortunately, in our environment today, there are so many chemicals that are all the way throughout our planet and through the air and the soil and the water, you name it, that find their way into natural compounds, into plants. Many, many plants are very highly contaminated with things, even grown in the most pristine conditions, because these chemicals are coming from the air, they're coming from the soil, and they're coming from the water supply all around the world. So we have this rigorous test methodology. And in the United States, Shaklee pioneered some of the highest standards for testing of natural ingredients, because we were finding a lot of stuff was present in these natural products. Now, let me give you an illustration of this. You can be growing, because we're sourcing stuff from all around the world. You can find a field of a crop that's being grown in the most pristine conditions. No added pesticides, no herbicides, nothing being added to it. And we might be looking to harvest the leafy part of the plant that might be growing. Well, if there happens to be a road cutting by about a quarter mile away and a car goes by that happens to have leaded gas, well, guess what? That lead can end up in the leafy part of the plant, and suddenly you have contamination present when you would never think in a million years it could be possible. That's a big, big deal. So when you reach for products, you really have no idea what kind of testing goes into them. So I'm going to give you an illustration of what we're doing that is the highest standard out there for care in looking at natural ingredients. So let me give you the road trip for a raw material as it comes into Shaklee. When we get a raw material into Shaklee and we're screening raw materials, very first thing that happens is we get a specification from a vendor that says it's this particular species of the plant that we're sending you. Well, we don't believe it. Even though we love our suppliers, we want it proved somewhere else. So we send it out to make sure they check and verify that the species is actually accurate to what's being told to us by the vendor. We also do a number of internal tests to make sure that the plant species matches our specification. So those are two different checkpoints that happen with the raw material. Then it comes back in after it passes that screening, and then we do this enormous amount of evaluation internally to look at performance and potency, because depending on where the plant is grown, at what time of year, different phytochemicals are created. And we want to make sure that we're always getting the right level of any phytochemical to give you the benefit that we're looking for in our product. So we do that testing. And then, after that screening, we send it outside again to another third-party expert. They're pure, and they've got all of the vital elements of the plant that you're looking for. So let me give you a couple of examples of what makes Shaklee so special. And these are things that you can share. In 1998, one of our most popular herbal products was Panax ginseng. In the industry, Panax ginseng was also one of the best-selling products out there. Billions of dollars of sales that were happening from Panax ginseng. For whatever reason in 1998, when we got the raw material in from our supplier, our QA group always looks at the raw materials that are coming in and found the presence of a fungicide called quintazine. That was in the raw material. So our quality control group said, rejected, we're not going to accept this, let's go to other supplier. Well, they went through every single supplier out there looking for Panax ginseng that was clean. The entire supply chain was contaminated with this fungicide. Now, To our knowledge, we're the only company that quit selling Panax ginseng because we couldn't source any clean material. It took us 1.5 years to find any clean material. In the meantime, Panax ginseng products were being sold by all sorts of other people. Now, either they knew two different things. Either they didn't know it was there, or the other choice is maybe they knew it was there and might have just taken the risk to make it available until they found some other choice. We have no idea. The point is that Shaklee really takes the steps and effort to make sure we have the best products of their kind. Now, another example of this involves safflower. And our scientists were looking, safflower is present in a couple of our products, and our scientists knew the phytochemical they were looking for was in the flowering part of the plant. So this orange part, the flower, is where the components were that were active. So our scientists sourced it, identified it, and said this is perfectly pure. There's no contamination present. Then this flower was sent off to an extractor that was making extracts and concentrating the phytochemicals down. That had been doing this for many, many other companies. And when we got the extract in, and you typically wouldn't check this, it was full of lead, because you would assume it was clean material. How did that happen? So our scientists kind of went on a research mission and said, okay, I've got to figure out what happened here. So they went to the extractor and said, we want to watch what you're doing to figure out what's happening here. And the flowers are going down the conveyor, they're being dried, and then these balls are rolling over the tops of them. And our scientists said, what's in these balls? And the balls were made of stainless steel, and they said, what's weighing them down? Well, they were full of lead. The lead was getting into the material. And we were the first and only company that ever brought that up, and they've been using that process for some time. So that's another example of the steps that we take to make sure that our products are the very best. Another example is boswellia, that's also known as frankincense. The active component that you're looking for is the resin that's present in the tree, and you tap it just like a maple tree. That's what you're doing. So we sourced the material and found out it was perfectly clean. When we got the material, it was full of lead. And again, it's one of those completely, how is this possible that this is happening? So our scientists looked at it, they asked what they were using to tap the tree, and they were taking buckets and they were spraying them with talcum powder. And then they were getting the resin. And it turns out that the talcum powder was full of lead, and that's how the lead was getting into the material. These are examples, and there are many, many examples of the things that we do to make sure that our products are the very best products of their kind. Our quality standards are absolutely impeccable. This is one of our heads of quality control who is looking at the specification book that's over 6 inches high for Vital E. We've sold 121 million bottles of Vital E. Every time Vital E is made, in the batches that are made, there are 349 separate quality control tests that take place to make sure that every time you get a Vital E, it's identical and it gives you exactly the efficacious dose that we want to deliver every single time. Now, another example, you hear a lot about the clinical studies that Shaklee has published on our products. There are also studies on ingredients that we never introduce. You don't hear about those, and it's important that you know what they are. One of them is polycosanol. Great double-blind placebo-controlled study was done on polycosanol, which comes from sugarcane from Cuba. It was a great study. It was looking at the lowering of LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. So this particular study showed over 8 weeks LDL cholesterol drop. So you're going, this looks like a really promising ingredient. Our scientists said, let's replicate this study, and instead of ending at 8 weeks, let's run it for 12 weeks. So guess what? Week 1 through 8, the study results matched identically. So everything was perfect. You know, it's the same results on our study that showed up in that study. But they ended at 8 weeks. Well, guess what happened? Week 9, 10, 11, 12. Cholesterol levels, LDL, the bad cholesterol, was just as high at the end of 12 weeks as it was in week 1. The body actually was creating more cholesterol because of this ingredient. So you can go in the health food store and you will find polycosanol being offered for that particular thing. They don't know it. We know it. It doesn't work. So that's the kind of attention to detail to make sure that the products we sell are the very best products of their kind. What's the best way if you're looking to optimize your health? Where do you want to begin? This is the wellness program, and this is what we suggest to people that they start. And it really starts with Shaklee Basics. Shaklee Basics was designed to really provide the foundation to help you optimize your health. And it has antioxidants which are going to prevent free radical damage and damage to the DNA of the cell. Your cells are constantly replicating themselves all of the time. And you want to make sure that they replicate themselves perfectly. Antioxidants help protect the cell, protect the DNA so that that can happen. And you really, really need that to happen because we're being assaulted by free radicals nowadays. Also, we know Shaklee Basics because we've done testing on it, helps provide a support for healthy immune function. It helps support the health of the prostate, colon, breast. It supports stronger bones and supports healthy brain function. All these things that people are looking for today. And it's very, very bioavailable. So it's a wonderful program to begin with. Then we suggest people add on to that energizing soy protein. And Shaklee protein we've done 4 human clinical studies on our protein to make sure it's working and providing the benefits that we know are really important. It's a very biologically complete form of protein, and it provides all 9 essential amino acids. Those are in the same ratio as found in the human body, and your body has to have amino acids to function properly. So soy protein is also terrific because it helps retain normal cholesterol levels and promotes healthy heart and prostate health. So this is a great program to start. So another thing that we suggest people add onto their program is Omega Guard, which will protect your heart. And what we have is the world's finest fish oil. We use a triple distillation process that purifies it into a pharmaceutical grade fish oil. And we also provide this full spectrum of all the omega-3 fatty acids that are naturally found in fish. Now, what the dilemma is today is you read the stuff in the press saying you got to eat more fish. At the same time you're seeing in the press, well, guess what? Fish have got a lot of mercury and lead present, so maybe you shouldn't eat fish. It's very confusing because clearly fish has very, very beneficial effect. So you've really got to come up with what is the right solution here because there are powerful protective benefits that these omega-3 fatty acids provide. And Omega Guard provides that in the very purest form in delivering the amounts that you need in the same spectrum, the full spectrum that you would hope to get naturally from fish. So this is a great product. Immunity, you guys all are hearing us in the news all of the time about what's going on with immunity. Your immune system is one of the most important aspects of protecting your health that you have today. Some of the originating research that was done on interferon, which is a very important player in your immune health, was done by Dr. Kojima. And he was looking at interferon because interferon is like the signal, it sends signals. And I use the analogy of imagine a conductor of an orchestra being able to get the orchestra to play beautifully together and get them all connected and communicating properly. That's kind of what interferon does for the immune system. So it really makes sure that the immune system is operating at its optimal level. So the paths for interferon research went 2 different ways. One of the ways was doing research in the pharmaceutical area, looking at amazing ways that interferon can make an enormous difference. The other path of exploration was the path of exploration that in the way that Dr. Shaklee would have done of let's look to nature. Dr. Kojima spent 40 years of his life's work, looking at the plant kingdom, trying to find plants that when taken would naturally increase your body's ability to create interferon, which is the most natural way that you could possibly have to do that. So what we have in Nutriferon, which we're very, very proud of, is it strengthens your immune system. It was created by the discoverer of interferon by Dr. Kojima. It naturally increases your levels of interferon. There are 4 human clinical studies that have been done on this formula, and it's an exclusive patent formula that only Shaklee has to offer. This is an amazing supplement, and we're very, very proud of it. So when you're looking at ways that you can start with Shaklee and try to create a nutrition program, the Wellness Pack is a great way to do it. The essential foundation for vitality, the protein which supports the health of your body, protecting your heart with Omega Guard, and then looking at strengthening your immune system with Nutriferon. So it's a wonderful, wonderful place to start. Now, all Shaklee products are really designed to promote health in some way. This is true for our personal care products, just like it is for nutrition. What we're doing, what our scientists do, is look at how they can come up with a nutrition solution into the personal care arena. And one of the areas that they were very, very interested was the area of the largest organ in the human body, which happens to be your skin. We're going through a time period, we're going through the greatest period of accelerated aging that has been happening. So we're getting older faster than, say, people did 4 generations ago. We're aging faster. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because there are many more chemicals that are in our environment today, and those chemicals, along with exposure to more UV radiation, is causing us to get older quicker. That's the reality of it. It's a pretty sad state today. So what our scientists were doing to try to come up with a solution to the problem of accelerated aging is they designed the InfuCell line. And what InfuCell is doing is it's helping infuse into the cells of your skin an incredible nutritional blend to help your skin naturally optimize its state of health. There are $1 million in clinical studies that have been done on this line. We have 8 patents, and a number of people have expressed enormous interest in being able to license it, but it's only available through Shaklee. Now, the reason I share this picture with you, which is a really important picture to look at, is the woman on, I have to do this by way, the woman on the left is about 34 years old, and this is a picture of her just taken with a regular camera. The picture in the center is that same time period, but it's taken with UV light. The picture on the far right is the same woman after 12 weeks of using InfuCell. And there's a tremendous improvement in her skin. That's what the InfuCell line is doing, is it's help promoting your natural healthy balance of your skin. And that's what's really important about understanding that we are helping to deliver health benefits in every product that we offer. There is a travesty that is being perpetuated on America today, and that's happening right in our own homes. Right in our backyard. There's a massive experiment that's been going on, and it started in the early 70s with the introduction of different chemicals that have come out in our environment today. The majority of those that have never been tested for toxicity. Now, I'm going to read some of these to you because it's really important. It's just really rattling stuff, but it's important to know this. EPA studies have indicated that elevated concentrations of household chemicals that have persisted in your air for a long period of time, and some of these are suspected of causing or are known to cause cancers in human beings. This is from the EPA. Chlorine is the #1 cause of poisoning for children in the United States, chlorine, which you typically find in many, many homes. Women who work closely with potential toxic chemicals are more likely to absorb these chemicals. There's more fat in a woman's body, and those get stored in your fat tissues. And diseases from these toxins can include breast cancer, birth defects, autoimmune disease, and infertility. And nearly 1 in every 13 school-age children has asthma. And asthma rates are growing exponentially. For kids under age 5, it's grown by 160%. And strong-smelling cleaners may start a child's asthma attack. So there is a crisis that's happening today. And when you take it into looking at the types of cleaning products that are in people's homes, there is a huge issue. So the research is suggesting that over time, this accumulated exposure to these chemicals can cause harm. So I'm going to give you an illustration of a number of chemicals that are commonly found in household products that are not found in any Shaklee products. Now, ammonia is an irritant to the skin, eyes, and respiratory system. Shaklee uses no ammonia. You'll commonly find that in household products. Formaldehyde, it's often found in liquid detergent cleaners and liquid dishwashing detergents. Shaklee doesn't use any formaldehyde. The fat of 100% of people tested for 1,4-dialchlorobenzene found it present. And it's typically in household deodorizers and room fresheners. And Shaklee doesn't use any dichlorobenzene. Phenol is typically in aftershave, detergents, deodorants, mouthwash, cleaners, hair care, and skincare products. Shaklee doesn't use any phenols. And then chlorine, Shaklee doesn't use that. Our company is designed to promote health. People that join Shaklee are looking at ways to control their destiny, control their health, help other people find health and well-being, and leave the planet a better place at the same time. And we offer our products to help clean the air, clean the water, so that you've got all the tools available through Shaklee product to help perpetuate your health and well-being. We are very, very proud of this company. It has a 50-year heritage in just being impeccable in its reputation, the quality of the products that we offer, and we're very, very, very proud of it. And I want to thank you for your time and really appreciate it. So.